Hey, 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 guess who it is? This is DJ Maya. This is our second half of the Mad Chatter Show. So, those of you who are listening, you are in for a treat. I got a special co host today. We don't got DJ Pockets tonight, he's missing out on this. But we have, I don't know, are you going to have a DJ name or you just, what's your name tonight?
We'll go with DJ Dylan Rogers.
Okay. So you guys know him. We did an interview with him recently with DJ Pockets. He's joining me today. He's brought us a special guest that we're going to interview. And so welcome to the show, Tommy. Say hello.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
We are great. Glad to have you.
Glad to be here.
So we've been chit-chatting for a little bit. So do you want to just introduce yourself to our listeners, those who don't know who you are, whatever you'd like to share with them and let them know? It's your floor, so take it away. Where are we going to go today?
We're going straight to hell, just like my mama said.
Ooh, you're going straight to hell for this one.
No. That's a Driving Crying song. Friend of mine.
We are living in hell, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, it's heaven or hell. It's all where you place your focus. You know, like it's right. It all exists here together.
But this is going to be aired on a Friday, so everybody knows Friday is my favorite day. So Friday, I think we'll be living on heaven's floor.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. It's Friday's. That's like it's like the dusk of the week. You know, like you get the and like the weekend is like the night. You know, and then
right.
Yeah, so I don't know. Kind of, it's that time between time where where you kind of can like cut loose.
Well, this is going to be aired from 10 to midnight, so we will definitely be cutting loose when our listeners will be listening to this.
Nice.
So we have a few topics that we're going to talk about today. You know, you have so many fascinating things to share, and many people might know you from, many different avenues. Do you want to share or remind people, or just
Sure.
For those who know?
Yeah.
Really know.
Hey. My name's Tommy Edwards, Touchdown Tommy Edwards. If you're a sports fan and happen to have been like a college sports fan about 30 years ago, when I played, but it's crazy how people put so much emphasis on athletics and athletes and the celebrity that our culture makes of young athletes, which is that's a weird thing in itself. And by the time I was 17, like anywhere I went in the state, pretty much somebody was trying to get me to pull over and have a conversation, or like knew who I was, and it was kind of neat at first, and then it got really creepy.
Everybody wanted to know who you were.
No, a lot of them already knew who I was. They just wanted to say, "Hey," and it's weird. Like our culture's so like hung up on celebrities. It's like, and yet most people don't have like boundaries or understand that person's not a public commodity. You know, and it's it can make it really difficult to like have a private life in public. You know,
Right.
I think, which is why so many celebrities like isolate to places like Malibu or Beverly Hills, or different places where it's costs a lot and limits the kind of the folks that'll be there.
Yeah.
Like Montecito or Maui.
Right. I grew up in California, and as a child, playing sports was my getaway, like from home, from my like crazy fucked up home, like crazy shit, I would leave and I would go play sports. And that's
Yeah.
like, that was my getaway. So was it not your getaway, or was it both?
Um, it wasn't like it for me. It was my getaway was like a bike in the woods and like playing tag. You know, like sports was like it was kind of like a toxic thing here. Like it's so competitive. Like my dad my dad played at football at Virginia Tech, as did I in college, and then he got drafted and played for the Buffalo Bills for a minute, and then so he was like a celebrity, and
Okay.
people treated him different, and like also a lot of people just didn't like him for various reasons, jealousy, or because he could have a tendency to be a dick, and I love my dad, but he's a hard human being to deal with.
Dad's been dicks? What?
Oh,
Now he's still here.
Is he?
Yeah, he lives in Boise, Idaho.
Oh, okay.
He remarried and moved out there,
Okay.
which is it's good.
Yeah.
I love him. It's good to have at least 7 states in between.
Seven states ain't so bad. I got 3,500 miles away between me and my family. 3,500. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
we
that's
moved from Ontario to Alberta in 3 days.
wow.
What? You're moving to Alberta in 3 days?
No, it took us 3 days to move from Ontario to Alberta. When we had
Wow.
enough of Ontario, we're like, we're out, and bounced out to Alberta. It's like,
Normally takes people like a week.
yeah, it's usually like a week to get out here. We just didn't stop.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
I
Yeah.
I moved to Santa Barbara in 2001, and the day we pulled into our new place was 9/11, and like I heard about the planes hitting the buildings as I was driving across the Mojave Desert. It was literally like a scene out of Terminator.
Oh my gosh.
It was like
I remember.
right dawn.
Yeah, I remember that morning. I got awakened and they were like, "We're going to war."
Yeah, yeah. Basically, it was crazy.
Yeah, that's my older brother called me and he's like, "Turn on the news. We're going to war. They just went into the Twin Towers." He
I woke
like
up.
knew who it was before the second one hit. He already knew who hit it. I was like, "How do you know who did it?" Like
What?
they knew before the second one hit. How is that possible?
Oh yeah, and then 10 minutes later, they found the guy's um, his passport,
Yeah,
down the street. Yeah, my ex girlfriend's dad was he was the construction supervisor um, for all of the other buildings that were built there in World Trade Center Plaza. Not the towers, but like building 7 and all the ones that are right there around it. The one that collapsed.
Yes, all the mysterious buildings that fell.
Yeah, he's like, there's no way in hell two planes hitting that thing would cause this thing to collapse like they did. I don't know
yeah,
if you remember, like melting, like molten, like steel, like pouring out of the thing, like it was a waterfall.
yeah,
Yes, I
I mean,
also remember there was a box that was still not on fire where the people were standing in the hole where the plane had hit. And I
yeah,
was looking for luggage and there was no plane and there was no luggage and there
yeah,
was no bodies. And
yeah.
I was like, what is going on here? I thought a plane hit. Where did the plane go? There was no plane. And then I saw on TikTok, this guy was saying that they used a hologram to make it look like a plane, and it was a drone, and they hit it with the drone. It was technology to make it look like a plane.
Hmm.
And I said I knew it because there was no plane there. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Well,
Remember that?
the one that hit the one that supposedly hit the Pentagon. There was no debris. I mean, there
yeah,
was, and it put like a perfectly round hole in the side of the wall. I mean, and like there's no wings anywhere, and like only one camera caught it, and it looked like a cruise missile coming in low.
Yes.
yeah.
You know what happened? Did you see they had about 30 people dressed in suits, men and women, with gloves and plastic bags. And they raked that whole yard and they picked up every bit of debris. And they they carried this thing out with the tarp over it and carried out all the evidence. I saw it. This veteran gave me this CD that said Inside 9/11, and it was like Inside Job, and I would played it and it showed me. I have it somewhere, and it has like all this stuff. The Army went in before and put C4 in all those buildings.
That was nanothermite.
I was just gonna say what Tommy was saying earlier. The liquid metal, it'd be thermite.
It's the only thing that would burn hot enough to cause it to melt like that. I mean, like jet fuel burns at 1,500 degrees. That steel melted at 2,700 degrees.
Yeah,
like ridiculous.
Yeah, for it to pour out like that, like he was saying,
got away with that shit so bad.
Yeah.
What done?
The way it melted, you would need a chemical reaction. So he's exactly right. You couldn't melt that steel with that fuel.
Right?
And I mean that and like some office furniture is not gonna create that much of a heat difference, you know. Like it was a false flag. Like you know, George Bush's brother Neil had his security company had the contract for the World Trade Center and the plaza, and it ended on the 10th. Like I mean,
not only that, they were supposed to go to court the next day for that big amount of money that remember that all that money Trump said that we just got $700-something thousand. We're so grateful for that money. Remember Trump kept saying that this money that they got, that was the same number that the Pentagon was accused of taking. Trump said, "Oh, we got the money back." Do you guys remember that?
No.
Yep.
It's like whatever. So the Pentagon they were going to court because there was this money that came up missing.
Oh yeah, it was like billions of dollars.
Yeah, like 100 billion or something like that.
Yeah, and Donald Rumsfeld came out the day before on the 10th and announced that they had misplaced like whatever crazy amount of money.
7 something.
It was in the billions.
Mm-hmm.
And then like building 4 that collapsed, there was a vault underneath that got to before the building collapsed, and the vault had been opened and stripped and cleared, and it had like all the gold reserves and like silver reserves and platinum for like several European countries stored there, and a bunch of evidence from like some major like RICO like organized crime cases.
No way.
And it was like an independent newspaper journalist got there first, and they got pictures, and like he's living in like Thailand or something now because he's he's in hiding because they're trying to kill him still.
He's looking for a new face.
Yep. He should get one of those William Shatner masks.
Yeah.
That's a handsome look.
That is too funny. Oh my god.
Yeah, my old manager when I was in Malibu, his dad was a TV producer that actually produced T.J. Hooker and the Dukes of Hazzard and a bunch of stuff. And we were talking about the upcoming election. This was in 2004, and Niles said, "Oh no, Bush is they already got this wrapped up for Bush." And I said, "What?" I said, "We haven't even had the election yet. I mean, they're still doing primaries." He goes, "That Bush has got it. They already got it." I said, "How do you know that?" He goes, "My dad's friends with Cheney."
Wow. Mm-hmm.
It was kind of one of those weird moments. I was being programmed then too. Like I was sitting there with him, and the other guy was a guy named Arlie Von Lewis, who was handler, and he was offering to put 7 figures behind me as an artist. And but I knew that if I had stayed, I probably wouldn't be alive.
So let's talk about why it's, basically anyone that knows my show knows that we go down the rabbit hole. And this is, anything goes, and this is the Mad Chatter Show. So do you want to start and just share a little bit about how you feel this all came about? Did you feel like it started with sports as
No,
a
I feel
child,
like,
or what do you think how this all began?
okay, it started earlier than that, from what I understand. Like through the 50s, 60s, 70s, and still the U.S. government's had an agreement with like a group of extraterrestrials. The Greys being one of them, and what they're doing is they're trading technology to us for the opportunity and the ability to go in and do genetics experimentation and seeding, to extract DNA and to add to the DNA of babies in utero. And so they were coming in and abducting pregnant women and then doing some gene alteration and then putting them back, and then interacting with the children throughout their lives, doing enhancements, checking on them, and also like helping them assimilate the biological changes into this dimensional reality, to where it doesn't reject it or cause problems as we're growing. So I was told that I've had this presence in my life since the time I was born, and I didn't really start noticing it until like college. After college, it didn't come to my awareness till after college that it was even a thing. I just thought, people are weird, or people, I always had this like instant best friend that would show up, and it would be different people. They'd just show up, and all of a sudden they'd be my instant best friend, and then it was like chums for a while. Sometimes it was like when I was in high school, it was like 2 older guys that were like college students or graduate students that were coaches, and and like before that it was like some neighbors and stuff. But and I got to college, it was teammates and then other students that would kind of pop in and play, and they were handlers, and had been hired to by the Central Intelligence Agency to entertain me, keep tabs on me, and something they would do. They do it with entertainers and sports celebrities just in general as a way to kind of steer their influence, so they don't build a platform to where they can influence the general population in a way that that goes against the official narrative of what they're trying to do in putting forth mind control in the New World Order. So my grandmother worked at an underground facility here in Bradford at the Army Ammunition Base, and she had crypto clearance, which is like the highest clearance that a civilian could have. And this was when my dad and my uncle were growing up. That is like 50s, 60s, and it was Bradford Army Ammunition Plant. It was Hercules, and it was the largest munitions plant in the country, making gunpowder and propellant and nitroglycerin and stuff. Built it during World War II, and there's this deep underground base there, and that's where my grandmother worked.
Wow.
And I was taken there and programmed as a kid, and like her boss was like the general in charge of everything over there. I mean, and this underground facility, and it was like intelligence, and like her job was like bringing any of the communications that came through, and it was all like the top secret and above. So her
Oh.
boss was really pushing for my dad to go to play football at West Point, and he went up and visited and had no intention of wanting to go there because he said it was like a prison. Um, but so he didn't take one of the classes that required to get in there, so he could go somewhere else, and he ended up going to Virginia Tech. And like
Oh.
he has some signs of programming, and my uncle that I'm named after developed cancer behind his left tear duct of his left eye, like a really rare cancer. When he was 19, had to have his eye removed when he was playing football in college, and he died when he was 22. And there's a really high rate of cancer in this area, specific like kind of rare cancers, and a lot of them have to do with like the open burns that they do at the arsenal. But so back to my grandma's boss, you know, he was pushing for me to go to Naval Academy, and the Naval Academy recruited me and had offered me an appointment, and they asked me what I want to do. I said, be a pirate. I mean, be a pirate, be a pilot. Arr!
The pirate, you know you're gonna be a pirate.
At Naval Academy, I can be a pirate, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
He said what they really wanted me for was for naval intelligence.
Mm.
And like when I was a kid, like I had a hard time learning to read and stuff, and had been put in some remedial classes, and I just had some emotional trauma that happened, at a young age with family, and being like ritually tortured at this deep underground base, and like sexual abuse and stuff from folks that they try to split your personality.
Oh yeah. They try to give you altars.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
And it being having been one of the children of this genetic alteration program by the Greys, I they had watching me and would have some enhanced abilities, and as the Stargate program and everything was taken off, they were looking for folks who had psychic abilities so they could weaponize that for national security. They realized that if they were able to recognize that in children through like the gifted talented programs in schools, that they could recruit through that, and then they could enhance it because they start to catch them early. And the best way to enhance somebody's abilities like that is to put them in abject fight or flight, like over and over and over and over again. That way their brain develops the capability of taking in like exponentially more information as a way to survive. And
Right.
And it's like like I remember going with my grandmother to her work when I was a kid, and my parents said it never happened. And then years later, we had the moving contract for we had a moving company when I was in college and after, and we got the moving contract, and they had declassified the top floors of this underground base or facility, and we were supposed to go in and change out all the office furniture, and it had the same layout that I remember when I was a kid. And then like summer before last, I was helping a friend disassemble an old outbuilding that was on this lady's property, so she could reuse the wood. And the lady who owned the property said that her dad had worked at the arsenal as well, and he worked in the underground base as well, and that she was also taken there and programmed. And it's the only other person that I've spoken to that had any that validated that, and have had the same experience. And like my dad's mom worked there, and my mom's dad had an important job at the base there. He was the head of the safety and maintenance, and the head of safety for a facility that makes nitroglycerin and gunpowder is like, that's it's a serious job.
Yeah.
and he was a 33-degree Mason and a Shriner.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's just some odd stuff. So like my dad, they each and mom each have a parent that works at this place, and then they end up dating in my dad's senior in high school, and they got married when they were like juniors in college. and they're like an unlikely kind of couple. And like their wedding pictures, my grandfather, my mom's dad, and grandmother look like they're awake.
No way.
Yeah. And then my mom's dad died like six months after I was born. I was born like 9 months after my uncle died, that I'm named after. And then like, so anyway, the altars, and getting back to the programming and stuff. So like it splits your personality that way. There's this other you or multiple other yous that they can put specific information or program specific skills into
Yes.
that can be called upon whenever, just through trigger words and things like that, like a Manchurian candidate.
Right.
But specifically for the psychic abilities, so they could enhance the psychic abilities. And one of the things that they ended up finding out is that there are some folks here on the planet that can do some pretty like amazing things, and not just the remote viewing part of it, which is kind of how it started, but like things like telekinesis. And you know this, you're a quantum healer. It's
right.
like they're it's like the TV show Stranger Things, with the dimensional, with the rips, it tears in the dimensional fabric.
Right.
Well, that's in the kid. They've had the kids, like they raised them in the laboratory there. Well,
Yeah.
that really happened.
Yeah.
There were some kids that were kept like that, and like I was, in my natural environment, and we would get like taken and like sedated, or I guess
Ugh.
hypnotized, or drugged, or
Right.
and then as I was in college, I started feeling like I was being abducted by aliens at the peak of my high school. I mean, I'm sorry, of my college career there, like that like started peeling back the layers. These experiences where I woke up and there was like this thing standing there. I can't move, I can't breathe, I can't scream, and it rattled me, and it caused me to have like an existential crisis. And it's continued, still does. And those things happen regularly.
Oh.
And lately I've been awake and aware while they go on, and like there are things that like I can see them moving back and forth in front of the light coming through the crack in the door, and it's like moving a glass of water in front of it. How the light just kind of distorts, like it bends the light, diffracts, kind of like Predator had that. Where it would reflect what was behind him on the front of him.
Let me ask you a question. Have you started to shield yourself or put yourself in a bubble of love and make yourself invisible at all?
Yeah. Since we had our session, definitely, and that, I mean, and that's something I've kind of done over the years, just kind of different internal language, but like yeah, it's
any different? Is it helping?
Well, I can't tell you. It's been kind of a hectic week.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've had a lot to kind of process, but also like I had one of my close friends died yesterday.
Oh no.
It was actually the day before yesterday, but I didn't find out till late that evening.
Oh,
And this is a guy that I grew up with, and that worked for my family, that lived in our apartments and lived downstairs from me, and would eat dinner with us, like me and my fiance, like almost nightly.
Oh.
And yeah, just and it seems like it may have been, reaction to the vaccine.
Oh God.
He got pneumonia, and then his kidneys failed. He was on a respirator, his kidneys failed, and he went into sepsis.
Oh, geez. That's so sad.
Yeah.
It happened so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the hospital like 5 days, and he was gone.
Oh my God. Did he have a family?
He left 3 little boys and a wife behind.
Oh
my.
And good dude, like, it's yeah, it really shook me. I'm kind of like last couple of days, I've just kind of been like
no.
I kind of almost dissociating.
You
like,
know. if you ever decide to do your part 2, you could always revisit, you can always visit him and see where he's at and ask him how he's doing, if he has messages for his family.
I'm down.
We do
Yeah.
things like
Yeah, I'm down.
that's what I love about what I do, is that whenever people like lose someone, I always let them know, like, they're not lost. You just have to reconnect and find them. They're there, you know.
Yeah.
So that's too bad, though. It's too bad. But man, can you imagine what work he has to do on the other side?
Yeah.
You know, we don't, I mean, he does get to rest and relax, but we're still like, life still continues. It's
Yeah.
so crazy.
Like I mentioned, my neighbor committed suicide back in 2018, jumping off the bridge. It's like a tall bridge. It goes over the New River,
Oh,
and that really threw me. And like this, I hadn't known the guy long, but he had been really kind and kind of pulled me out of my shell after some shitty things happened after that SWAT team sent to kill me in March of that year. And like it was weird because like as I called one of his friends, the cop came to my house to see if he was there. He left a note on Facebook, and like right as I see it, I get a message from another guy he makes music with to go check on him. And I'm like going out my front door to his house to check on him, and the police are coming through the gate in the front of my house. And luckily it was like the one cop in town that I kind of trust. And
oh,
like
okay.
he like we went looking around my yard, and he goes, "I'll let you go inside and check your house," you know. And we looked around, and it looked like there was a path going. Like somebody had walked out of the back of the house, out through the back gate, and the back gate was sitting open. And there's this woods with a trail down to the river. So I wasn't sure, you know, what maybe if he'd gone down through there, but it looked like somebody had walked through there recently.
Uh-huh.
But I had called a friend we had in common to come over to look with me, and we looked all down through the woods, all the way down to the river, and then we get down the river road, and I can see a spotlight of a police car on the bridge, and they've got a spotlight looking down, and then they turn the light off and turn the police light the lights off on the police car, the blue lights, because it was parked on the bridge. And when they did that, I knew something was wrong. So my friend who was with me, she wanted to go towards the park and look for him, and I'm thinking probably not something we're going to want to walk up on. And so I convinced her to go the other direction towards the university, where their basketball arena and stuff is. It's kind of right near the river, and there's some benches and stuff down along the river. I said maybe he's just down here, you know, thinking, you know, and even though I know he wasn't, but finally had kind of exhausted that. She wanted to go that direction. As we were driving down River Road back towards where the bridge is, we did it's got a little kind of S curve in the road, and went through a fog bank. It was really just one pocket of fog. Nowhere else was there anything like it. And we did that, in my mind's eye, I saw James, and he was big smile on his face. He goes, "Don't worry about me. I'm at peace."
Oh, wow.
And
That's
and
wild.
it was like, I mean, it was like, I mean, it's like, it was him. Like, you know, it was his personality, and he was like, all that worry and depression, everything that he had been dealing with was gone. It was like just like he said, I'm good. I'm going home.
Yeah. You see?
And yeah, and then we pull up there, and there's a gurney out there, and there's a body on it it's covered with a sheet. And I'm like, let's turn around. You know, we don't need to be here. And you know, the big light shining up underneath the rescue lights and stuff, and like a shit ton of police cars and rescue vehicles. None of them had the lights on. You know, so trying to not draw any attention. But that one threw me for loop. I didn't sleep for like 8 days after that, and then I ended up driving to Nashville, to see some friends and just get out of town and maybe flip my odometer and get some rest. And I did, and like I wound up recording a song while I was there, and like, but I was like delirious most of the time I was there, and was finally able to sleep and slept about 2 days. And
That
yeah, I recorded a song called "Peace and Pain,"
okay.
and ended up moving back there maybe 5 months after that, because the day after I got back, I went to his funeral, and the day after that, I went to a doctor appointment so I get a recommendation to a neurologist so I get some new MRIs to provide to my concussion litigation attorneys that they had requested, and I had to establish a new GP. And I talked to her about 20 minutes about fears of pharmaceuticals and having like bad reactions and just treating symptoms for stuff I don't have, because I get like phantom symptoms from CTE causes all kinds of symptoms that mimic other things. I have CTE. It's like boxer's dementia. That's one of the reasons I'm targeted is because I talk about it, and I've been really vocal and like challenged like the efficacy of youth sports and college and professional sports too. It's it's a form of trafficking. You trade your life and your well being for in college, the college level, it's for the possibility to go to the next level, and the possibility to be able to maintain yourself and go to class and to get a degree on top of giving yourself multiple concussions and destroying your body.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Destroying your body, like destroying, like literally destroying your body.
oh yeah, I mean, like
Go hard, hit harder.
Yeah.
So, do you think they bred you to be like a professional athlete?
I think I was groomed from birth, and Virginia Tech officially started recruiting me when I went to a football camp there when I was 10 years old, and they placed me in a room with this guy that was running back, Billy Height, and he became like the surrogate uncle, like always interested in what I was doing, big smile, always put his hand on my shoulder, always interested in hear what I said. And I was 10 years old, and they put me in the room with an adult that I'm not related to as my roommate. And then he's the only coach that stayed from this other coaching administration that went out that left in 1986. And the new coach that came in, that was one of my dad's teammates, a guy named Frank Beamer, who became one of the winningest coaches in college football history. So I got when I signed to play football there, that coach that had started grooming me when I was 10, utilizing a lot of the same methodologies and kind of techniques that child molesters use when they're grooming, gaining the trust of their victims, to gain my trust and end up getting me to come there, and because you have to suspend your disbelief that you're destroying yourself. I mean, it's not a thinking man's game for the most part. Like it's
Was it your coach that you said that was showering with the boys?
not well. I went to Virginia Tech football camp like 6 years in a row. But the summer between my junior and senior year in high school, I also went to Penn State football camp, and it's a good way to start getting recruited and to be seen by these bigger programs, as for the possibility of getting a scholarship. And
right.
And they started recruiting me at that point, and this guy Jerry Sandusky was one of my coaches during the camp, and he was the defensive coordinator and linebacker coach at Penn State at the time. They were recruiting me as a strong safety, which is he would have been overall my coach. And this guy, he was a notorious pedophile. The tight end coach walked in on Jerry, who was retired at the time but still had access and keys to facilities, was raping like a 10-year-old little boy in the team showers on campus there in the locker room. And he didn't go to the police. He went to the head coach, and the head coach said, Joe Paterno said, "I'll take care of this." And then never. I mean, and that was like 5 or 6 years before it all came out. what was going on.
Wow. But how did he take care of it? Did he just let the coach continue on doing his thing?
No, they took his keys away from him and said he revoked his rights, but they didn't. They didn't like. They didn't like follow the authorities, which is Joe Paterno. They called him Joe Pa. He was like godfather of football for the Nittany Lion fans, and they took down the statues of him. They fired him. He died like within 6 months of all that. So it killed him.
Really?
Yeah. He was in his 80s.
They killed him.
He killed it killed him. Just the stress of it, and like he lost all of his. He was like a living legend and like a demigod to people.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's like in like 42 of the 50 states, the highest paid state employees are either a head basketball or head football coach at the college level.
Wow. College, football and stuff like that. That's do baseball players go through the same thing as football players?
Different. Each sport has its own kind of thing. Football is it's like the alpha sport, like the alpha male. Like if people say what's it like to play college football in Division I level, I'm like, well, think about like the most cocky, like asshole, narcissistic jerk, like athlete that you ever came across when you were growing up in school, and like 120 of those. And then
Meet his dad.
and then like 30 coaches that are that same mentality.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's a you're brainwashed. They start you when you're a kid, and they what's your favorite team? I don't know. We talk about you got to have a team. What's your team? Well, I don't really watch. Well, you got to have a team. I'll pick this.
Dallas Cowboys.
That was dumb.
Yeah.
People would ask me what my favorite team was. I would say the Bradford Bobcats, because that's the high school here. And my grandparents had like a shrine to my dad and uncle.
Oh.
And my grandfather was barber and had a barbershop downtown, and that's where he had a bunch of these big blown up images and stuff. And my uncle played 1 year with an eye patch, so he looked like a living embodiment of the Oakland Raiders.
Wow.
So there was that, and so I picked the Pittsburgh Steelers because they had the same color scheme as the high school. Because when I say the Bobcats, the older boys would laugh at me, like, no, pro.
Yeah. No. Right.
It's really it's religion.
Just real quick, you said your uncle was a Shriner, and that's 30.
That was my mom's dad.
Yeah, and they put 33 on you in college, didn't they?
Yeah, that was my dad's number 2 at Tech.
Really?
Yeah, and then they gave it to me, and he and I became the first father-son combination to score rushing touchdowns in NCAA bowl games in the history of the NCAA.
Wow.
So when I started like speaking out and like saying that it's something that needed to end, and connecting it directly to like the funding from the military industrial complex and partnerships with the U.S. military, and kind of showing it as the circus and bread equivalent of today, as the giant distraction scheme of the military industrial complex to keep people unaware of the abject like corruption that's going on in the houses of power. And you got to think about it. It distracts the main population that would be willing to and most likely take action on that sort of thing, being like aggressive alpha males and that enjoy vicariously, at least, violence, and some of them actually engaging in violence firsthand. And a lot of them having played like either youth football or or scholastic through high school. And there's like over 1 million every year play like youth or in high school, in each kind of division, and then that gets whittled down to 63,000 total college football players.
Wow.
Of all years, and then that gets whittled down to 1,500 NFL players, and that's all. That includes all of the veterans and stuff that are there too. So it's like, you may have 200 slots open for rookies, or 300 or 500, out of the 63,000. So you have twice the potential of winning the lottery as you do just getting drafted and making a team, much less having a career for any more than 6 months.
Right.
And if the NFL stands for not for long.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah.
There you have it.
The average age of the NFL player, or not average age, average life expectancy is 53. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I turned 50 in 2 weeks.
Oh, well, we'll have to celebrate.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't sure if I'd ever make it here. I mean, I had a nervous breakdown on my 21st birthday because I'd never been able to imagine myself past the age of 20.
Oh.
And I just thought also, like, the whole alien thing was going on, or my labs or whatever it was. But I was, being taken in the middle of the night.
Have amazing stories. So basically, 2/3 of the population is being abducted for experiments and all kinds of shit. And you have experiences with aliens and abductions and all these things.
Portals.
And
like projecting portals.
oh, but portals, yeah. And did you have experiences with portals?
Oh yeah, like like with on the show Stranger Things, that they're using kids with psychic abilities to open these stargates, and it started initially in the Montauk project, where they're using the Montauk chair, which was some found technology from a crashed craft that would enhance, or it would amplify the thoughts of a person that had this over their head, as they were strapped into this chair, and then that would project their thoughts into reality in three dimension, 4D, like supposedly one of the guys, he manifested like the Montauk monster. It's a legend that tore up a bunch of the town of Montauk and Camp Hero, the base where they did the experiments.
Oh.
And that was an extension of the Philadelphia experiment, where they made the
Right.
destroyer disappear and then reappear, slip into a different dimension for a minute.
Right. Well, what do you think about the portal that opened up in Miami? Was that a real thing, or was that Project Bluebeam?
I'm not sure. I need to look at that a little more. I think that they've been planning this thing called Project Bluebeam since like the late 70s.
Right.
And that some of that is holograms, and a way to create a single world religion and kind of new world order around that, and then to unify mankind through it, like false flags of like an alien invasion. But I mean, I did see like something where like the Nephilim maybe, and like these giants that showed up there, and that I saw some of the police reports and stuff, or some of the news, I guess, and I wasn't sure kind of what was going on, and couldn't find anything like that really did anything more than showed the same like helicopter shot, you know what I mean, and like some kids fighting outside the place, and so I mean, I believe that this has happened. I've caught them on video with my
the cops would make that much of a ruckus if it was something. I think they would have to send over the secret boys. I think that was an awful lot of ruckus and attention.
Oh, it was a show.
Yeah. Also, there was supposed to be like, bombs going off or something like that, firecrackers going off, and a staged argument. There was like all these things that they said. But I don't know if we asked in your session or not. I know your session was pretty amazing.
Yes.
Do you recommend people having a session? Do you recommend doing it?
Yeah, I thought it was it was it was a it was an intense experience, but it was fabulous. Like it was emotional for me, but resolved some things in my that I had some question marks on, and like it was insightful, but damn, like lot to take in, But I would say, yeah, it's definitely an experience. It was like virtual reality, but it was there was no headset. Like
Right.
it was a immersive experience, and catharsis would be like the first like word that would come to mind.
Nice. Well, I'm really glad that you had it, and I definitely hope you have another one. I know that our time is slowly going to be coming to an end soon. So did you want to, like, in the last few minutes, just kind of like sum up what, message to people, what you would want them to know, about anything in your journey, and,
Well, yeah, I mean, I've lived some really high highs, like with the athletic stuff. I became a professional skateboarder in my late 20s, and have had some pretty amazing like successes. And then in the last like maybe 10 years, I've been being targeted, which has been like living hell at times, like trying to figure out what's going on. And now that I have some insight, the one thing I could say is if knowledge is power, then knowledge of self is self-empowering. So learn as much as you can about yourself, and like don't worry about what other people think. Just follow your heart and your dreams, and put yourself into it, and that's like the path to joy. And like you got to look for the joyful moments in life, because there's a lot of bullshit that is around us all the time. There's always trash on the side of the road. You can stare at that, or you can focus on the sunset in front of you.
Yeah. There's always trash on the side of the road.
So like there's that, and like there's tough days ahead. There's some shit coming down the pike that it's going to make everybody like question things. And the biggest thing that we can do is be resolved in ourselves, to have faith, to learn to trust your intuition and follow it, because that shit ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah. And we're taught our whole lives to second guess ourselves, and that keeps us disempowered. You gonna say something?
Absolutely. That's true.
I was gonna say, you have a movie Brain Slosh coming out, or is it already out?
No, I'm still working on that one. See, that's another thing that accelerated and increased the targeting to the point where I suddenly it was no longer covert, it was overt, and as a way to distract me from being able to make this movie, I've had data disappear. I've had 5 computers go down just in the last 2 years alone. And I mean, I've probably gone through 10 in the last 10 years. And I started making this movie, and because I was just writing autobiography before, and things would crash, and I'd lose like a shit ton of work. But I've had like all my SD cards disappear, and the show back up with a bunch of stuff messing off of them. My cloud gets hacked regularly, and things disappear. It's like the portal video that I'll send you guys. I found in an old email to somebody from like 2020, but that's been gone. It's been gone. It got scrubbed off of my Instagram and off of my cloud, off of my phones, and so I'm glad I got that one back and got it out there again.
Yay!
Yes,
do you want to tell people where to find you?
Yeah, I'm I'm in the Akashic record sometimes. In that book over on the wall that says Tommy. Um, no, no, there's a I guess on Facebook, Touchdown Tommy Edwards. On I'm on YouTube. It's like Tommy Edwards. Shit, like
Your music.
yeah, my music and stuff's on there, but I also have other stuff like the trailer, this brain slosh is on there, and then the video for the portal videos on there, and some and like the Skinwalker video. And like my cameras, my house has caught like there was like a 6 month period of time where it just caught the wildest, craziest shit on a regular basis. I mean, every day I'd come in and just go through and see what kind of shit I find on my that they had recorded the night before.
Yikes.
It was, I mean, it was bizarre shit, and that kept me distracted as shit. I couldn't do anything but, you know, be ready to defend myself. I didn't know what was coming down the pike. I mean, I had
Yeah.
this chick.
You're watching those videos, your eyes are probably like wide open. You don't want to blink because you don't want to miss anything.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure. And like you hear me in the background going, the 4 o'clock in the morning, like yes. But like this was after I had an employee of the Central Intelligence Agency who had interjected herself in my life, break cover and tell me that she had been assigned to me as a handler, and then confirmed, people throughout my life that I had put some question marks on after some things that were brought to my attention, like, when I was living in California. There was a friend of mine that printed out the Project Superman, the Andy Peru story, and my life and his life were so parallel, it was ridiculous. He was a football player. He was supposed to go to Penn State and ended up going to Rochester State, where his dad had gone to school. And he's part of the Super Soldier program. They framed him for murder in 2020.
Nice. Well, Tommy, I would definitely like to have you back on again, so we can do a part 2 and follow up with you. I know we didn't even like skim off of the top. We were just messing with the nuts and the cherry on the top of the dessert, because there's like this rabbit hole runs deep.
What an analogy. Yeah.
Well, everything's like a Sunday to me, banana split. It's like,
Oh yeah. Hey, we're gonna float your boat. It's a man eat monkey world,
Yes.
It's crazy. The things that pop up in life, and what a beautiful opportunity. Don, I appreciate you reaching out to me, and Maya,
I'm happy to talk to you.
I mean, I tell you what, like, what was it New Year's Eve? We connected. Yeah, I mean, like, automatically, I'm like, that guy's my brother.
Yeah,
like just vibing, and then just I feel like just a connection. Like you talk about all the different people that they've done sessions with that wound up being in this secret space program, and right?
Yes.
It's like a cell group.
We found out which side we're on. We're the aftermath peanut party, right? Don, is that right?
Yeah, what it is basically where we are is about 5-10 years after everything's been sorted out here on Earth. We're helping the ones that still have to be here because they got stuff to sort out. But we're also tearing down all the old reptilian and oppressive technology, like all the shit that's in the moon.
And still battling the grays, because you went to sleep, you took a nap, and you woke up. And what happened? You felt like you had a broken nose.
Oh, my toes were broken. I had a bruise on it about the size of an apple, and it turned like purple and green. And I went to sleep. I was fine. I woke up and it looked like I had 2 broken toes. Wow. And that was inside 45 minutes. I don't know where the hell I went, but.
Was it only your toes, or was it your nose as well?
Oh, yeah. I came back and there's a new it looks like part of my nose got tore off and sewn back on.
Wow.
And I've never had a scar there before.
And in his session, they said that he got torn to pieces or something. They had to put him back together or something.
Yeah, I got attacked by the Greys in a triangle ship, and they fucking smashed my ship and blew me apart. But the Arcturians pulled me out in time and put me back together, and then gave me back to my nap.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of fucked.
Yeah, I've had some missing time. I'll have to share that on the next.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I'll have to have you back again, you know, and hopefully by then we'll have a part 2 done, and then we can really like see how far this rabbit hole really goes, because I'm really interested to know about our part. I know I'm part of the 144,000, but I'm still trying to figure out what that means. And now I think I'm wondering, I think I know what that means. But why is it still called SSP is what I want to know.
Secret
Yeah.
Space Program.
Okay.
Right.
I think it's just the acronym.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just interesting.
Yeah, you know, it's like it's like you know, it's like the Black Ops group of the Space Force.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're Black Ops.
Except,
Yeah, I
except
pretty
we're,
good at like that.
we're light ops.
Light
Yeah.
up, light up. Yes. Light code. Ops.
Yeah, yeah. How about tie-dye ops?
Yeah. I fit into that hippie category.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it's just you know, dark side of the moon, the spectrum, the light spectrum there, you know.
Right. When you say you're on the spectrum, it's a whole nother meaning.
Maybe everybody's on a spectrum.
Yeah.
We're all on a bunch of them.
Right?
It's like a mixing board, you know.
Yeah.
Each one of those faders is a different spectrum and different condition and different part of our humanness.
Yes.
You know,
I think everybody that's aware or awake is neurodivergent in some way. So
yeah, this is true because there's no medium. You know, there's no normal. Everybody
No.
has their own weirdness.
Yeah.
That's
I
true.
mean, look at Canadians.
Hey,
That
now.
Hey, I'm just joking with you. I love Canada.
I know, but it's legal here.
That is true. Hang on, you guys. Don't go nowhere. I'm just gonna say bye to everybody for the recording. Bye, everybody. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Thank you. If you guys want to say bye,
Bye bye.
But
over and out.
Adios.
I just